So we are going to design a control circuit, okay? The circuit that you are going to do, you are going to do it step by step so that you all understand it. So now we have our line here, line 1. This is our neutral line. Okay, so let me tell you, the control circuit is like that. When we press, we want two relays, okay, to energize. But the first relay, okay, the first relay would control the second relay. So what it means is that if the first relay is not energized, we can't energize the second relay. So let's all be careful, okay, and then watch the steps. Yeah. So we have our stop button. We are using ladder diagram. This is our start button. And then this is our first relay, R1, and then overload. So I told you the numbers, okay? This side will be our 1 and 2. Here will be 3 and 4. The relays, we have 13, 14. Those are the coil terminals. The overload, we have 95, 96. Okay? So with this, when you press on this start button, because this contact is already closed, current will flow through. Okay, now our hand is still on the push button, so it is still closed. So current will also flow through, and then when it gets here, okay, because the neutral line is also through the overload to this point, the relay will energize. Now, when we take off our hand, this relay will go off. Why? Because the switch or the push button, it is spring loaded. So see, when I press it, it goes inside. When I take off my hand, it comes back. So when I take off my hand, this contact will go back to its open state. So therefore, we want to include or add a contact, okay, that will make sure that when we take off our hand, still the relay will remain on. So therefore, we are going to use an open contact on this relay here in power with the start button, okay? So that is what we call hold on or holding circuit. Holding circuit. Okay? So what we do is we will tap from here on the start push button. We will tap from the 3. We connect it to open contact. So this is open contact, one side of the open contact. Okay? And then we come to this side. We connect it at the terminal 4 on the start button. So now we have connected an open contact on this relay in parallel with the start button. So let's see. When I press on the start button, okay? When I press on the start button, current will flow through to energize this relay. The moment this relay energizes, this contact is going to close, because on relays and contactors, okay, whenever they energize, all their contacts change their state. Open contact will become closed, and then closed contact will become open. Alright? So now, this contact, because it is an open contact on this relay, the moment this relay energizes, it is going to close. So now, this contact is the contact on this relay. So let's name it R1, because it's the contact on this relay. Now, we want this relay to control relay 2. So what we'll do is, okay, we can come here again and tap from this side, this line, okay? We bring another open contact on this relay here. You see that? Now then it goes to relay 2. Then we connect it to the overload. So also 13, 14, okay? So this is relay 1. So we have used 2 open contacts on this relay. Okay, one is here, one is also here. So with this, when you press on the start button, this relay is going to energize. When it energizes, this contact will close to provide a hold on all different current paths, so that when we take off our hand from this push button, current is to flow through here, okay, to maintain this relay in energized state. Now, as the relay is energized, this contact is also energized. So now, current will flow through to also energize this relay. So now, in this circuit, it means that R1 energizes R2. But we don't want this way, okay? We are going to make sure that R2 also gets its own start and stop buttons. But before, when you press on the start button for R2, before it will energize, unless the R1 is energized. So what we do is, we are going to clear this line, okay, and put a stop button here, and then a start button here. So now, when you press on the start button for relay 1, this relay will energize. This contact will close to provide a hold on. This contact will also close. So as this contact is closed, current will flow through the closed contact of the stop button to this point. But because we have not pressed on the start button for this relay, the relay 2 can never energize. Okay? So, before we energize relay 2, we have to press on this button. So when we press on this button, relay 2 will also energize. But when we take off our hand, relay 2 will go off because this contact will open again. So we want to maintain relay 2 in energized state. So what will you do? We are going to also add another open contact like this, okay, in power with this start button. That contact should be a contact on the relay 2. When you press on the start button, okay, this relay will energize, and this contact, okay, on this relay 2 will also close. So when we take off our hand from this button, current will still flow through here to maintain the relay 2 in energized state. So this is how we draw control circuit. Okay? This is how we draw control circuit. Now, I want to add something. When relay 2 is off, okay, I want a particular lamp to indicate that relay 2 is off. How are we going to do this? We are going to do this by extending the line, okay? I will add a normally closed contact here. This closed contact should be a contact on relay 2. Don't forget that I said relays and contactors, whenever they energize, their contacts change their state. So I'm going to add a normally closed contact on relay 2, and then I'll bring a lamp here, X1, X1, X2. I'll give it to the neutral, okay? The neutral line. And then I'll name it R2 because it is a contact on this relay. So I'll name it R2. So now let's see now. When the R2 is not energized, this contact is closed. So current is flowing through this contact to light the bulb. So let's assume this is red lamp. And then let's add another contact, okay? That will also indicate when relay 2 is also energized. So we are going to bring another open contact like this, R2. Then we give it to a lamp. X2, X1. So when relay 2 is not energized, current is flowing through this contact to light this bulb. But because this contact is open, current will only reach this side. It can't continue. So let's start everything afresh. Okay? The moment you on the main breaker, let's see here, current will flow through this side. It will get to this side. It can't continue. The same current will also flow through here. It can't continue. Current will also flow through here. When we get here, because this contact is closed, it will continue. Then the light will come on. The same current will also continue here. When it gets here, because this contact is open, it can't continue. So we are going to start the circuit. Before that, let me show you something here. Let's try and see if we can energize relay 2. When you press on the start button, okay, relay 2 can never energize because this contact is open. This contact should be closed to allow current to flow to this point, so that when you press here, relay 2 can energize. Before relay 2 can energize, this contact has to close. Before this contact to close, the relay 1 has to energize. So when you press on the start button, okay, relay 1 will energize. This contact will also close to serve as a hold on. This contact will also close. Then current will flow through to this point because this contact is also closed. Okay, current will flow through to this point. When it gets here, it is only waiting for this button to be pressed. So when you press on this button, then it will continue to energize relay 2. When relay 2 energizes, this is a hold on contact on this relay 2. It will close to provide a hold on for the current flow. Okay. Now this contact is going to open because it is a contact on this relay. So as this relay is energized, this contact will open. Then the red lamp will go off. This one will be our green lamp. Okay. Now as relay 2 is energized, this contact, okay, is going to close. Therefore, this lamp will come on to indicate that relay 2 is energized. But relay 2 is energized. Yes. So these are the indicator lamps. This is how you connect them in control circuit. Okay. In control circuit, you just think of how you want the circuit to operate. Just think, okay, should I add this switch here? Should I add this contact here? Okay, if I add it, what will happen here? So that is how we do to design a large number of control circuit with large number of contacts. Okay, they are step-by-step process. So the relay 2 is energized. Relay 1 is also energized. Now let's see something here. When you press on the stop button, okay, only relay 2 would de-energize, but it can't affect relay 1. But when you press on this stop button for relay 1, all the circuit is going to go off. Why? Because when you press on this stop button, relay 1 will de-energize. But let's see something here. When relay 1 de-energizes, this contact is going to open. Therefore, relay 2 is also going to de-energize. Okay? And in that case, these contacts, they will return to their original state. So this one will become closed, and then this red lamp will come on again. This contact will open, the green lamp will go off again. This is an overload contact. We added the overload contact because when there is an overload or there is a short circuit or there is a fault in the system, this contact will open. Okay, then it will break the neutral okay, like this. It will break the neutral to both relay 1 and relay 2. And in that case, they are going to de-energize. Okay, That is why I brought the overload. Someone will ask, why did I bring the overload at this point, not at this point? Because it is a series, because they are in series, overload can be placed at anywhere, okay, either here or here. But make sure where you are placing the overload, it will be able to control the whole circuit, okay? So I can choose to clean this overload here, like this, okay? And I'll bring it here. I'll bring it here. You see it? I hope you have seen it. So here, when the overload senses a fault or a short circuit or an overload condition, it will open, to trip, and then this relay one will go off. When it goes off, all the rest will also go off. So this is the basic control circuit, okay, that we just designed. You can call it sequential control circuit. Sequential. It is sequential because one has to operate before the other. One motor has to operate before the other. So today we only use relays to represent our control circuit. In other circuit or next time, you are going to use contactors, okay? But they are all the same. Alright? You hit on the subscribe button and then you hit on the bell icon. You choose all to turn on your notification, okay? And then you like the video. You put down your comment and you share the video to your friends, okay? I'll see you in our next meeting. Thank you very much.